Here is a short French text at A2 level. Can you understand it? In today's video, we will take each sentence apart so that you are able to make your own with confidence. This series is all about understanding structure in a French sentence and identifying the role of each word. So, let's look at this text. Hier, j'ai fait de la natation et j'ai adoré. Ensuite, je suis allée à la boulangerie. Je ne me suis pas ennuyée. Sentences are constructed with nouns, verbs, articles, pronouns, adverbs, conjunctions, etc. So, let's take this sentence apart. Can you define each word grammatically? Let's have a look at this one first. Hier, j'ai fait de la natation et j'ai adoré. Hier is an adverb of time. It means yesterday. So, any verbs within that sentence will be in the past. Can you spot the verbs and tell me their tenses? J'ai fait and j'ai adoré, well done, are both in the passé composé. The passé composé indicates that an action took place in the past and is done over with. Passé composé means it's composed of two elements, an auxiliary, either avoir, to have, or être, to be, depending on the verb we are using, and the past participle of that verb. Learn how to conjugate auxiliaries in the present tense if you want to use this particular past tense, le passé composé. Je, here, is the subject pronoun. Because the auxiliary, est, starts with a vowel, je becomes je with an apostrophe. J'ai, I have. And fait is the past participle of faire, to do or to make. It's a third group verb conjugated with avoir in the passé composé. So when the verb faire, to do or to make, is used to refer to an activity, it is followed by de. Je fais de something, la musique, for example. La is known as a feminine definite article, the. And la is used here because natation, the noun, swimming, is a feminine noun. Had we used football, for example, then we would say faire du football. We can't say de le. We need to contract the tu to become du, because football is masculine. Now let's have a look at j'ai adoré. Again, passé composé used with avoir. So adorer is the past participle of adorer, the infinitive verb. It's a first group verb conjugated with avoir in the passé composé. So we've got two passé composés. J'ai fait, I've done. Et j'ai adoré, I've adored. Or I've loved, if you wish. Now let's not forget et, the coordinating conjunction, which links the two parts of the sentence together. So, yesterday, hier, I did some swimming. J'ai fait de la natation. Et j'ai adoré, and I loved it. But we are not saying it in this sentence. J'ai adoré, I loved. But it implies I loved it. Now, let's look at the second sentence. Ensuite, je suis allée à la boulangerie. Can you spot the verb and its tense? Can you spot the adverb? Can you spot the noun? What I'd like you to do is whenever you look at a French sentence, try to identify those words, the tense or the verb, the adverb and the noun, because it will all make sense in the end. Now let's start with ensuite. Ensuite means then. It's an adverb of time. And then you've got suis allé. Suis allé is the verb. The tense again is the passé composé. However, instead of using the auxiliary avoir, to have, we are using être, to be. Why is this? Well, because aller, to go, is known as a movement verb. Please have a look at previous videos where I cover all verb using être in the passé composé. Because aller is a movement verb, you're going to use être and not avoir as the auxiliary. And again, here we're using je as a pronoun, as a subject pronoun, I. So you must know how to conjugate être in the present tense. Je comes with suis. Tu comes with est. Il est, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, and so on. So that je suis allé, tu es allé, il est allé, and so on. And you do the same with the auxiliary avoir. I have is j'ai. J'ai adoré, tu as adoré, il a adoré. So this is where it's very important for you to know avoir and être in the present tense in order to conjugate in the passé composé. So note that when using être, the past participle must agree in gender and number with the subject. So what do I mean by that? Did you see how we put aller.e or aller with the e at the end as an option? Here, je can either relate to a feminine or masculine subject. If it relates to a masculine subject, write aller, just as it is. But if je is feminine, then add an e to it. Should the subject be feminine plural, elle, E-double-L-E-S, for example, they, feminine plural, for example, then aller, A-double-L-E-E-S, would end with es, okay? With a masculine plural such as il, I-L-S, then it would end with an s. And this is what I mean when you must agree the past participle with the subject if using the auxiliary être. For avoir, this rule doesn't apply. The past participle does not agree with the subject. Now let's have a look at à la. À la means to the. À is a preposition. La is a feminine definite article. Because the noun boulangerie is feminine singular. So, to the is à la. But, like all things in French, prepositions change depending on the noun that follows. So you've got to think, is your noun feminine singular? Then you use à la. Je vais à la boulangerie, à la pharmacie, à la piscine. Is your noun masculine singular? Then use au, because we can't say à le. Is your noun plural? Then use au, e-u-x, for example. So, let's have a look at the sentence. Ensuite, je suis allé à la boulangerie. Then I went to the bakery. Does this make sense? Let's have a look at the last sentence. The last sentence is the hardest to understand, okay? Je ne me suis pas ennuyé. There's lots of difficulties here, but listen to me really carefully because it will become much clearer after this. Je is the subject pronoun. It's throughout the text. I, okay? But then you've got ne and then pas. That's a negation. You've got to point and look at negations when you see a text. Has the text got negation? Has the sentence got negation? It is here placed before the reflexive pronoun me and after the auxiliary être. Je ne me suis pas. Me is a reflexive pronoun and goes with the entire verb s'ennuyer, which means to be bored. How can I see that it's reflexive? Because in its infinitive form, it has an S, se, S-E, se. In that case, it's S apostrophe because ennuyer begins with a vowel. So we say s'ennuyer instead of se ennuyer. But it will be the same with se regarder, to watch oneself. Remember, it's reflexive. Okay. Se brosser, to brush yourself, okay. So, me indicates that that verb is back to you. And depending on the subject pronouns, then the reflexive pronouns change. So have a look at the list here. For je, it's me. So, in the past tense, je me suis ennuyé. Tu t'es ennuyé. Il s'est ennuyé. Nous nous sommes ennuyés. Vous vous êtes ennuyés. Ils se sont ennuyés. It's hard, isn't it? Because s'ennuyer is a reflexive verb, it is conjugated with the auxiliary être in the passé composé. Again, just like aller, which is a movement verb, the past participle, when it's a reflexive verb, has to agree in number and gender with a subject. So, if je is feminine, add an I at the end of the past participle. Je ne me suis pas ennuyé. I didn't get bored. Now, look at the entire phrase again. Hier, j'ai fait de la natation et j'ai adoré. Ensuite, je suis allée à la boulangerie. Je ne me suis pas ennuyée. Hier and ensuite are adverbs of time. J'ai fait, j'ai adoré, je suis allée, je me suis ennuyée are all in the passé composé, using two different auxiliaries. The first two, avoir. The last two, être. A is a preposition. La is a feminine definite article. Of course, we have le and les as well. That's another lesson. Et is here as a coordinating conjunction, meaning and. And natation and boulangerie are the only nouns in this sentence. So, shall we read this sentence again together? And it's going to make so much sense. And please leave a comment if it makes sense. And why don't you write your own sentence at A2 level? Here we go. Hier, j'ai fait de la natation et j'ai adoré. Ensuite, je suis allée à la boulangerie. Je ne me suis pas ennuyée. Okay, that's it for me. Have a look at other lessons that I have produced in the past. For example, these live lessons on reflexive verbs. And leave a comment. How much do you like this exercise? Can you make your own sentence at A2 level? That's it for me. Au revoir, à bientôt, and puis bisous bisous.